Hi everyone, 79 Herstol's guy here once again, and what I have here for you to kind of take a look at with me are three Crosman post-World War II underlever pneumatic air rifles. The top one here is a 22 caliber, which is actually the model 101. And then these two rifles are actually Crosman model 100. And the difference being is this, I think I may have mentioned, is 22 caliber. And these are actually 177 caliber and are much rarer than the 22 caliber Crosman. You'll notice some differences here. This one here, the 22, is actually a Crinkle paint gun. And you'll notice both here on this Crosman 100 and then with the 101, you have a curved bolt handle. You have the Crosman 107, 108 sights that they started incorporating here. In the, essentially, these were kind of the final year 4950 rifles, and then they started using these sights. Both of these rifles have the Diablo cocking knob. You'll notice on this particular Crosman 100, it has the 5-ring cocking knob. And my understanding is that these were standard, and then these started being used at the very end of production when they started running out of these 5-ring cocking knobs. So these knobs, if you find them original to a gun, are rare as well. This I'm kind of guessing is probably around a 1948 manufacturer year. One of the things I wanted to point out to you is that there are different bolts, and one on, not only was it curved on the 4950, but they were also flow through. So if you might be able to see the little hole on the bottom here, and then it's hollow on the front here, so the air would come up through the gun, through the little hole, right behind the pellet here, and then push the pellet down. Versus this one, where I guess it would be more a flow around bolt. There is no actual seal as far as like rubber. It is just metal onto the barrel itself. And then obviously the air flows around this bolt versus through it, and then pushes the pellet out. The guns overall were started to be manufactured in I believe it was 25, and then had a nice run of about 25 years here to end up in the 1950 ending. They came in three, well, post-World War II here, there was 3 different stocks that you could potentially find. One was the hard maple, there was elm, and there was also walnut. I believe this is the elm. They've been mostly attached to the Crinkle paint guns. And then I believe this was the hard maple. And this one is actually got the walnut. And again, my understanding is that the walnut was more of a common. You'll notice that the logo is all the same here. And the logo is what they call a D/N. And you might be able to see it here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on these particular guns here, but it says patented, and then Rochester, New York, and the D is literally lined up over the N. On earlier models, they have different logos, but this is also another distinguishing feature here. So I'm going to kind of move the camera here a little bit and show you, hopefully, the diameter of the barrels, or the openings here. We'll move it over a little bit. And because if you're looking for one of these, a lot of times, especially if it's on an auction website or maybe even in person, the person that's selling the gun may not actually know exactly the caliber that they're selling. And so you might be looking at a more rare gun if it's a Crosman 100 versus the Crosman Model 101. From what I understand, there's been comments online that someone may have only seen like one Crosman Model 100 for every 100 of the Crosman Model 101s. I don't know if that's an accurate figure. That might be just their experience. But I know, as I said, these are a much rarer caliber. And I'm going to lift these. Hopefully I don't hit the camera here. And I've lost the bolt here. It does want to kind of slide down pretty easy here. Alright, this hopefully will give you an idea of diameters here. And you can see the 22 is obviously a much larger diameter than the one on the right here, with it being a 177 caliber. If you're looking online, it's just something to look for. If I suppose you could always ask the seller if they've measured it or what have you, if they know what the caliber is for sure. But the other, if they do show a picture of the barrel, let's see if I can get this in line. You can kind of see the diameter difference on the barrels themselves. And you might also notice the 102 here with the crinkle paint has a different sight than the Model 100 here. It's and I've from what I've seen online, the crinkle paint guns seem to have this sight as a standard sight here. So I'll do a little close-up here so you can see. Here's the crinkle paint gun. And hopefully you can see the D over N logo. And there's the kind of the flow-through bolt. So if you read something online or what have you and it says flow-through bolt, that's what it is. And they were pretty much made here at the end of the run for these guns, along with, like I said, this sight. So thanks for taking a look. I'll be doing some other rifles here shortly, and I appreciate you stopping by.